has found a following among people disgusted with the chauvinism, intolerance, anti-intellectualism, and self-righteousness of religious fundamentalists. I share this disgust. I wrote a book called American Fascists, the Christian Right, and the War on America. The Christian right in the United States is the most frightening mass movement in American history. We dislike the same people, but we do not dislike them for the same reasons. This is not a small difference. I was raised in a church where my father, a Presbyterian minister, spent his career speaking out, often at some personal cost, in support of the civil rights movement, the Vietnam anti-war movement, and the gay rights movement. The religious figures I studied and the ones I sought to emulate when I was a seminarian at Harvard Divinity School included Martin Luther King Jr., Dorothy Day, William Sloane Coffin Jr., Archbishop Oscar Romero of El Salvador, and Daniel Berrigan. It was possible to admire these men and women and what they stood for, yet hold institutional religion in little regard. It was possible to find in the Christian faith meaning and purpose, while acknowledging the flaws in the Christian system and rejecting the morally indefensible passages in the Bible. Religion, as Reinhold Niebuhr pointed out, is a good thing for good people and a bad thing for bad people. The institutional church has often used its power and religious authority to sanctify cruelty and exclusion. The self-righteous smugness and suffocating piety of religious leaders, along with the habit of speaking on behalf of people they never meet, are characteristic of many liberal and conservative churches. The church often likes the poor, but doesn't like the smell of the poor. I graduated from seminary and decided, largely because of my distaste for the hypocrisy of the church, not to get ordained. I left the United States to report on the conflicts in Central America. I rarely go to church now, and when I do, often roll my eyes at the inanity of the sermons and the arrogance of many congregants who appear to believe they are honorary sinners. The liberal church, attacked by atheists as an ineffectual, moderate religion, and by fundamentalists as a nominal form of Christianity, is, as its critics point out, a largely vapid and irrelevant force. It may not support the violent projects of apocalyptic killing championed by atheists such as Harris or Hitchens, or by some Christian radicals, but it also does not understand how the world works, or the seduction of evil. The liberal church is a largely middle-class, bourgeois phenomena, filled with many people who have profited from industrialization, the American empire, and global capitalism. They often seem to think that if we can be nice and inclusive, everything will work out. The liberal church also usually buys into the myth that we can morally progress as a species. It too accepts, along with the atheists and the fundamentalists, Pangloss's rosy vision in Voltaire's Candide, that we live in the best of all possible worlds, c'est meilleur des mondes possibles, and that if we have faith and trust in the forces around us, all is for the best. Tout est mieux. It is this naive belief in our goodness and decency, this inability to face the dark reality of human nature, our capacity for evil, and the morally neutral universe we inhabit, that is the most disturbing aspect of all these belief systems. There is nothing in human nature or human history to support the idea that we are morally advancing as a species, or that we will overcome the flaws of human nature. We progress technologically and scientifically, but not morally. We use the newest instruments of technological and scientific progress to create more efficient forms of killing, repression, economic exploitation, and to accelerate environmental degradation. There is a good and a bad side to human progress. We are not advancing toward a glorious utopia. Religious institutions, however, should be separated from the religious values imparted to me by religious figures, including my father. Most of these men and women ran afoul of their own religious authorities. Religion, real religion, involved fighting for justice, standing up for the voiceless and the weak, reaching out in acts of kindness and compassion to the stranger and the outcast, living a life of simplicity, cultivating empathy, and defying the powerful. It was a commitment to care for the other. Spirituality was not defined by how it is with me.